I'm sorry, it's been a while, but I've been really busy and I still don't have internet out here, which I'm hoping, God willing, that will change here in the next week or so. So I have to always make trips to the library and try to see if I can upload a video there and like all that stuff. And I've been like dealing with a whole lot of stuff and like regular stuff, of course, and then my school and the teacher I have right now. I've got tons of homework and like it's just crazy. But I did want to make that video on the dizziness and off balance feeling, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I've actually been feeling the dizziness and off balance like tonight, like right now, like the last, I don't know, the last hour or so, and it's been kind of like every time I turn around or I go right beside a table or whatever, I feel like everything's going tilting and I feel like I'm about to like fall over or something like that. But I want to discuss it because I know a lot of people who deal with anxiety, who suffer from it, actually have the dizziness, off balance feeling. I I know I did want to discuss the things that could cause it, like natural, regular things, nothing crazy, but you know, things that could be causing it, and then go into the anxiety aspect of it. Anyway, I've been feeling the dizziness and off balance stuff for about, it was one of my 24/7 symptoms that I had nonstop every single day. It would just get better or worse, like it depending on my anxiety for the day or that time of the day. I would get like, it would get real bad, or like I would have to sit down, or I'd be scared to death to even get up, because I would start feeling like I was about to fall over, and I would like start panicking. And I will say this, I'm gonna knock on wood, I've never actually fallen over and I've never actually fainted, but I know of people who have dealt with anxiety who have actually fainted and things like that because they begin to hyperventilate and stuff, and because of the off balance deal or whatever. But there's different, you know, all of us are different. All of us, our chemicals are different and everything else, so are doing different things in our bodies and our brains. So basically, I used to get it all the time when I would stand like in front of the sink to do dishes or whatever, or I would get it when I was cooking, when I was in front of the stove. The kitchen was a big thing. I don't know if it was because the colors, the cabinets, and the granite or whatever, and then the tile floor, like all the different colors and different shapes and stuff. I honestly believe sometimes it does have to do with the shapes and the colors and the patterns that are in my environment. But because we are, like, I tend to be extremely sensitive to all those things. But I don't really know. I know it happened a lot, especially when I was having a lot of anxiety or high stress, and it can happen, and it's really scary, and it can happen. Not like I remember having days. I'm saying I remember because since I've moved, the dizziness stuff has actually gotten better, and I don't know, because I have less stress here. I'm not surrounded by all the stress I was surrounded by back home. I don't know if that's the issue or what, but I do know that it is better now for me. I do feel it still, like tonight I've been feeling it, but it tends to happen a lot less than what it did over there. Same thing with the breathing issues. It's gotten a lot better. So that tells me most of that back home was just anxiety. Anyway, it used to happen to me like when I was at church sometimes, or I'd hear something, or like certain triggers would happen, and I would start feeling it. I would even feel it when I was sitting down. I even had moments. I remember asking my daughter. I've asked her a few times. I would try to stand still as I could, and I would tell her, am I swaying? Am I moving? And she would look at me, and then sometimes she would actually be like, you are swaying. And I'd be like, am I really? And I was trying really hard to stay still, but apparently I was swaying, like slowly, without realizing it. Like right now, I'm doing it on purpose. But you know, when I do this right now, I'm doing it on purpose. I can barely tell that I'm doing it, and then like if I, let's say I turn around or something real quick, it'll feel like I'm about to fall over. But I didn't realize what I was doing. And I don't know if that was like a nervous tick kind of thing or what, because I know whenever I don't know about the rest of you, but whenever I'm like, ever since I was a kid, I would like, whenever I would be stressing or get sad or get, you know, different things, I would actually, I would like rock back and forth. Like I would get an Indian style on the floor or whatever, and I'd be rocking back and forth. And I would do that, and I still sometimes, if I get real nervous or something, I'll catch myself doing that. You know, I'll be like rocking automatically. It's like trying to calm myself down kind of thing. And I have no idea if maybe the little minor swaying or rocking that I've actually caught myself doing whenever I feel dizzy or off balance, if that is like is kind of like a subtle subconscious way for my body to calm itself down, but it makes it worse, because then I start feeling like I'm about to faint or fall over or something's wrong with me, you know. And I don't really know, but I know that things like inner ear problems, like I'm sorry, we haven't finished doing everything to our house, so parts of the house are still like under construction in a sense. Like we haven't gotten curtains, and we still have boxes and stuff, so I don't know. But anyway, I don't know why I said that. But anyways, what was I saying? You know how I am, my mind. Okay, I was saying something about, I don't remember now. Okay, well, oh yeah, if it was a subconscious thing or whatever. I do know, however, also, that the inner ear thing. The inner ear, if you have like sinus issues, or you're having like a sinus infection, or let's say you have like something going on in your ear, like an inner ear issue, like with wax buildup, or like an infection, or like just allergies, stuff like that, can actually cause the dizzy spells or the off balance feeling, because it messes with your equilibrium deep in there. And of course your equilibrium is what keeps you balanced. And if there's something goes on in there, or with your even just with that, you will not be able, you'll be walking and you'll be going sideways and stuff like that. And that's happened to me before too, where I'll try to walk when I feel dizzy. I've actually done where I'll be walking, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna walk down the hall, and I'll be walking down the hall, I keep going to the left, or I keep going to the right. Or I would sometimes even just close my eyes and walk, and then open them and see where I turned out, just to see if maybe, if I was really walking crooked, if I was really like going sideways, or if I was really feeling dizzy or off balance, or if I was actually walking off balance, like in a way to like testing myself, one of those self-tests that we do to ourselves, you know. And but I used to do that all the time too, and I still do, like whenever I get the dizziness or whatever. And then I remember it would happen like when I was walking anywhere, and it's really hard for me, especially because I have that whole dream state thing going 24/7. So whenever I would get the dizzy spells or the off balance thing, it was so much worse for me, because everything looks like a dream. I feel like, even right now, as I'm speaking, as I'm making this video, I'm looking around my living room, and everything looks like as if it would, like whenever you have a dream and how everything looks a little hazy or like dreamlike, that's exactly how my whole world, my reality looks 24/7 for me. And so whenever I would have the dizziness or whatever, it would be worse for me, because I would like really freak out, you know. And I'm not saying it's any better when you don't have the depersonalization, derealization thing, but I'm just saying from my point of view, like what I've experienced, you know, with mine. And then I'll say this too. I know that I've had issues with, sorry, my son. I've had issues with Or like I'll get up, but this is everybody. I think anybody, if you've been sitting down or you've been on the floor and you get up real fast and you get dizzy, you know. Okay, there was the inner ear thing. I was telling y'all about the things that can actually cause the dizziness. There's in the sinuses, things like that, can actually cause it. There was something else that causes it too, that I. Oh, yes. If you actually, if you have a deficiency in niacin, it can actually cause dizziness as well. And so same thing with magnesium. So like, remember I mentioned before about vitamin, therapy or whatever. Well, that's what I'm talking about there. If you have deficiencies in certain vitamins, you get that dizziness, you'll get dizzy spells and things like that will happen to you. Like with me, I used to get dizzy spells. I've gotten them before, like right after a real hard palpitation. That was scary as heck. I remember one time sitting down at church, and I've told you all this one before, I believe, but I remember sitting down and I was calm and I was watching, I was listening to the sermon and all that greatness, and all of a sudden I felt the palpitation, like a real hard one, and I freaked out because I felt it, and it felt like my heart was going to beat out of my chest, like a big huge thump, and then like a pause and then a thump, and then all of a sudden I felt like everything went whoo, like I was gonna fall over, and I went straight into a panic attack. And that happened to me more than once. That happened to me once when I was walking in the store trying to get a couple of things from the grocery store. I was walking, all of a sudden I felt that, and then all of a sudden I just freaked out. And now I will say this, when it comes to something like that, I believe because I have the health anxiety, because I think I'm going to die like every minute of the day, I wonder if because I felt the palpitation so hard and everything, that I automatically, it threw my panic into instant panic basically mode is what happened. And then I started feeling the off balance thing, because that happens to me when I'm really stressed. So I don't know if that's what happened to me or what. But I'm sorry, I have to stand. But yeah, that, and what else? Make sure to, if I were you, I would actually get your vitamin levels checked just in case, and get your ears checked. Do all the regular checkup stuff. Go to your doctor, find out about those things. You don't even have to tell them that you have anxiety, that you're worried about that you're having, whatever. Just go and tell them, hey, can you please check my ears? Tell them you're having the dizzy spells. Go to the ER and tell them that. I mean, I don't know, whatever you want to do. But go get it checked out just in case. I don't know. Just get it checked, and get your vitamins checked, your vitamin levels. Make sure you're not deficient in anything. And then from there, if everything turns out okay, well, then it's your anxiety. Because anxiety can cause a lot of things. Stress can cause so many physical issues. And but you do have to gain power over it. I mean, we all have to do this. We have to gain power over this anxiety. And I mean, it's stress. It's stress, and it's going to end up killing us, and we shouldn't allow that to happen. We have all the power within us. We need to realize that we are in control of ourselves. We are in control of our minds. We are in control of our situation, of this anxiety. We really and truly are. We want to believe that the anxiety has complete power and control over us, but that's not the case. And once we realize that, it gets better. And I know this because since I've been here, I have gotten better. I'm not saying I'm 100% better, because I'm not. And as a matter of fact, I'm a little better today because I went to the doctor and I got some blood work done, and it came back. I checked my thyroids. It's another thing you need to check when you have anxiety, and my thyroids are wonderful. They said my thyroid levels are all great, and they told me my cholesterol was great. They told me that, I mean, everything was good. You know, they just wanted me to pick up my B12 vitamins a little bit, and for me to do my what else? They said my inflammation, I had no inflammation, and that I had, I think it was 0.1 or 0, I don't remember, but anyway, but everything was good. My glucose levels, I mean, everything they said was wonderful on my blood panel, and they're going to do more blood work to check my hormone levels, because they think that maybe that might have something to do with my issues. But they said that I'm healthy, like they always tell me, you know, and like my blood pressure, like the last time when they checked it, it was 107 over 72, which apparently is good, and things like that. So like I guess I have to face the fact that maybe I am healthy, and that's a problem with people who deal with health anxiety, because we constantly think that the doctors don't know what they're talking about, or that they're missing something, or that something's wrong. And I told my doctor, you know, I was like, I really feel like something's wrong, but then when you realize and you look into it and understand how bad things can get just from stress, what stress can actually do. You know, I've read stories of people, you know, becoming completely paralyzed, completely, because of stress. Like they have to get sent to the hospital and they realize they just had a stress attack, you know, and like, it's crazy, you know, it's crazy what our minds can do, and what can actually happen to us just because our minds, just because we can't focus, or we've allowed stress to take over so much. And we need to take time for ourselves and to calm ourselves down, and to realize that we do have the power over this. The dizziness, the dizzy spells, that, you know, off balance feeling, it's horrifying. It is, I know, because I have dealt with it for years, and it was nonstop for years, you know, with me. It was that 24/7, like I said before, a symptom that never went away, and it's horrible, you know. And I still have my 24/7 symptoms, don't get me wrong. I'm just better now, but I still have the derealization, depersonalization thing going 24/7. I still have, you know, a lot of the breathing issues. They're not as bad as they were, but I still have them, you know, and I still have, you know, my random headaches and chest pain and random numbness, and, you know, all these things that go along with this health anxiety. And the racing thoughts never stop, of course. The racing thoughts, the thoughts of death, my feelings of impending doom, you know, and all those catastrophic thinking, all that, you know, is still there, and I'm trying to get control over it, you know. And I'm still having my dizzy spells once in a while, like today I've been having them, even though I just came back with good news from the doctor, from my blood work and everything. I keep thinking crazy, you know. And but like I said, we have the power to gain control over this, and we need to be able to do it. We got to gain control of ourselves. We are allowing our minds, ourselves, just to go all over the place. Baby boy, that way, please. Sorry. And once we do, we'll be happier and better for it. So I'm trying to gain control over my stress, and I am trying to realize what I need to be worried about and what I don't need to worry about, you know, and the things that are worth worrying about and the things that aren't. You know, there's things in your lives that you cannot change. Those things, there's no reason to worry about them, like none. There's no reason to sit there and think about them, or to ponder on them, or to sit there and keep telling yourself all these things, or play the what ifs in your mind over them, because they're things that you have no control over, that you can't turn it off, baby, that you cannot control. There's things you can't control in your life, seriously. And I know that's horrible to hear, because especially us who deal with anxiety, we are control freaks. Like, we want control over every aspect of our lives, down to every single bit of our health. And that's just not feasible. That's not even reality, and we have to realize that. Once you realize that, you'll be so much better off. And I know that I'm slowly realizing it, and I'm still having to learn how to deal with this, but it's hard, but you can do it. And you're not alone. I'm always saying that. You are not alone. And I'm getting better. I know without meds, I am not on medication still. And I'm still taking my vitamins, and I started taking vitamin D3 as well. It's magnesium, vitamin D3, vitamin C, calcium. And I'm doing better, and I'm getting blood work done. I'm trying to get down, make sure that I know, trying to make sure that I get better, because I need to, for myself and for my family, for my kids, for my husband, for me, and it's working. It's going to happen with God's help. I know it will. And my Lord is with me, and He is going to help me to get through this. I know He will. So, but just like I said, do this. I mean, the dizziness and everything, I know it's scary, but everybody, all of us can get through this. But you're not alone, and I will talk to y'all later.